I'm so excited about it. I'm just like, I know it's going to be fun to plan. Because I think the only stressful weddings are the ones where you have a small amount and people are on the bubble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And you have to evaluate or assess your relationship.
When it comes to Taylor Swift, nothing is ever simple. It's never just I got engaged and fade to black. There's always a story, a clue, a breadcrumb left for her fans to chase. As she moves gracefully through late 2025, promoting the life of a showgirl, Taylor's been weaving wedding hints into everything she touches. Some are loud and glittering, others so subtle you could miss them if you blink, but together, they form the outline of a fairy tale she's letting the world piece together. And of course, it all started with the proposal. Taylor didn't just mention it, she turned it into a moment of legend on the Graham Norton show. She revealed how Travis transformed his backyard into a dreamscape. Cascading florals, soft lights, hidden photographers, the kind of setting that feels lifted from one of her lyrics. She called it a 10 out of 10, smiling as she admitted he absolutely crushed it. That enchanted garden became the centerpiece of their engagement, lore another chapter for the Swiftian Hall of Fame. But in true Taylor fashion, she reminded everyone that not everything is meant for the spotlight. Some moments, she said softly, will always be ours.
Figure out ways to make sure that I do have things that are just between us. And thankfully we do have a lot of those things. And that moment in particular is one that's always...
That delicate balance, sharing just enough while keeping the rest sacred, has become Taylor's golden rule in the art of the wedding tease. And naturally, after the proposal comes the next breadcrumb, the ring. Because with Taylor, everything carries meaning. Every sparkle tells a story. On The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, she finally pulled back the curtain on the design. As it turns out, Travis had been holding on to the ring for months, crafted around the work of Kindred Lubick, the jewelry artist Taylor once mentioned in passing. He remembered. He planned. He waited. And when he finally gave it to her, it wasn't just a ring, it was a love story cast in stone. Taylor laughed, confessing that she still catches herself staring at it mid-interview, lost in thought. I look at it constantly, she said. And really, who could blame her?
How to work into that one.
He did. He did. And he had it for a really long time before he gave it to me, too.
He did?
Custom did this and designed it with this amazing jeweler who he made it with.
It's gorgeous. Even the sides are beautiful.
I know. I know. I look at it.
Every now and then, Taylor lets her fans glimpse just a little further down the road. During that same Tonight Show appearance, she casually slipped 2 diamond eternity bands beside her engagement ring. To most, it might have looked like simple styling, but Swifties knew better. It wasn't just jewelry, it was symbolism. A soft, glittering signal that she's already stepping into the next chapter, moving from fiancé to future Mrs. Kelce. It's classic Taylor, turning something as small as an accessory into part of her story, letting her rings whisper the evolution of her love, one sparkle at a time.
That he's going to do that as soon as he sees you at our wedding. Is that's going to happen. He's just going to...
Whoa.
Oh, did I...
Am I coming?
Obviously.
Then, back in London, the rumor mill roared to life again. This time, straight from the airwaves. During an interview on BBC Radio 1 with Greg James, one of her longtime favorites, Taylor dropped a moment that sent fans into overdrive. Mid-conversation, Greg joked, "So am I invited to the wedding?" Without missing a beat, Taylor smiled and simply said, "Obviously," and just like that, the internet exploded. No press release, no announcement, just Taylor being Taylor, effortless, witty, and perfectly in control of the narrative. With one word, she managed to say everything without really saying anything at all.
Destination wedding?
People don't think that we're
It was lighthearted, full of warmth, classic Taylor charm. But underneath the laughter, there was something else. Another gentle sign that her private and public worlds are beginning to merge. Even her friends in the spotlight are being woven into this fairy tale she's quietly building. Greg, never one to miss a moment, tried to push a little further. "So destination wedding?" He teased. Taylor just laughed, flashed that knowing smile, and danced around the question like a pro. "No, Confirmation, no denial, just that signature glimmer in her eyes that seemed to say, if you know, you know.
When you were like joking with me at the show we did about being sweaty and people thought that it was like a greatly offensive.
Then came a touch of nostalgia, the kind of moment only Taylor could turn into something effortlessly endearing. She reminded Greg and everyone listening of one of their old inside jokes. That time he teased her about needing a shower during a festival set. Instead of brushing it off, Taylor laughed and reassured him and the audience that she'd never taken offense. It was pure Swift energy, gracious, funny, and just self-aware enough to transform an awkward throwback into a charming nod to how far she's come.
Shockingly offensive thing to say.
Absolutely. It is not the last album.
That's not why people get married.
No, exactly.
So that they can
That's a
quit.
whole-
But Taylor didn't stop there, not even close. On her album launch morning, she completely took over UK radio. From Heart Breakfast to Magic Radio Breakfast with Ronan and Harriet Scott. Then Capital Breakfast hits radio and beyond. Every stop was a masterclass in Swiftian multitasking. Each interview blended Wedding Whispers with album deep dives, personal reflections, and even a few baking stories. On Magic Radio, she opened up about premiering the life of a showgirl in cinemas, wanting fans to experience the behind-the-scenes magic through commentary, visuals, and storytelling. In that same breath, she mentioned Travis's favorite track, Opal Light, revealing that every gemstone and metaphor on the album was chosen with intention. Then came Capital Breakfast, where she charmed hosts with her take on British humor, friendship, and how her years in the UK shaped her as both an artist and a woman. It wasn't all wedding this, wedding that, but every conversation carried traces of the Travis effect, proof that he's deeply woven into her current era. And finally, on BBC Radio 2, with Scott Mills, there were no bombshell announcements, just one perfectly delivered line. When asked if marriage might mean stepping back from music, Taylor didn't hesitate. She smiled and called the idea shockingly offensive.
He didn't mention Greta. Did you meet Greta? And he's like, yeah, and I was like, okay, well, what did you say? He's like, well, I walked up to her and I was like, I love Barbie. I'm seeing all over the internet is just videos of Travis dancing with Greta all night, like they're best friends. Travis, here's a video of you with Greta. It feels like she thought the joke was funny. He goes, oh, that's not Greta.
Taylor leaned into the idea that creativity, performance, and partnership can all thrive side by side, that building a marriage doesn't mean dimming her spotlight. She painted a picture of balance, of rhythm, of finding harmony between love and ambition. She shared that the life of a showgirl was born out of chaos scribbled between flights, written in hotel rooms, and shaped while she was still in the middle of the Eras tour. She laughed, recalling nights hopping flights between stadiums in Sweden just to steal a few quiet moments to write. And then, almost softly, she admitted something that stopped fans in their tracks. All this wedding talk only began because for the first time, marriage finally feels not just possible but right. That quiet confession led straight into her appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers, where she delivered one of her most endearing Travis stories yet. Apparently, during one of her shows, he completely mixed up a celebrity moment, mistaking Anna Eberstein for Greta Gerwig. Taylor burst into laughter as she told it, describing it as funny, awkward, and perfectly human. A tiny window into the real-life chemistry behind the headlines.
No, I'm so excited about it. I'm just like, I know it's going to be fun to plan. Because I think the only stressful weddings are the ones where you have a small amount and people are on the bubble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And you have to evaluate or assess your relationship.
On Late Night with Seth Meyers, Taylor didn't just charm the audience, she dropped another breadcrumb. With that familiar knowing smile, she said, yeah, it's about time I start poking around the wedding details, but invitations aren't exactly in the toolkit yet. Classic Swift. Open, self-aware, but still holding the cards close. She's pacing herself, building this fairy tale one intentional step at a time that, of course, no Taylor era exists without the rumor mill spinning. This time, the chatter was that marriage might somehow end her career. She shut that down instantly. In her words, just because you tie the knot doesn't mean you untie your dreams. If anything, she said, she feels more alive, more creative, and more inspired than ever. And she's proven it not through headlines, but through symbols. Fans noticed she's been wearing more than her engagement ring. On The Tonight Show, those stacked diamond bands beside her main ring sent a message loud and clear. She's already embracing that married energy. Then came the Graham Norton show, her most revealing appearance yet. Taylor brought back the now iconic Secret Garden proposal story, showed off the ring up close, and described the moment as magical and thoughtful. But perhaps the biggest reveal? The wedding won't be small. She admitted she's not into bubble weddings where everyone worries about who made the cut. She wants something open, joyful, inclusive, a celebration, not a spectacle. Small events stress me out, she confessed with a laugh. And somehow, only Taylor Swift could make honesty about stress sound like the blueprint for a once-in-a-lifetime love story.
Big.
I just mean that I was going to invite you to it. I just am doing the album thing now, which is a big thing.
Yes.
And then I think the wedding is what happened.
When Graham Norton finally leaned in and asked the question everyone had been waiting for, so, is the wedding happening next year? Taylor flashed that mischievous, unmistakable smile and simply said, "Oh, you'll know." The crowd erupted. Graham, never missing a beat, joked, "She must be going big if she's inviting me." Taylor laughed and clarified that yes, she really is planning to invite him. It was playful, effortless, perfectly her keeping the mystery alive while giving just enough away to keep everyone hooked. But underneath the teasing, she made one thing crystal clear. The music comes first. Taylor explained that she's laser-focused on finishing her album before diving into wedding planning. Because in true Swift fashion, every chapter unfolds in its own time. Art first, then aisle. All these interviews, the late-night talk shows, radio drop-ins, and surprise cameos have started to blend together into one beautifully curated tapestry. Each thread tells a piece of the story. The proposal, a secret garden, hidden photographers, pure intention. The ring, carefully planned, deeply meaningful, designed with love and memory. The guest list, open, inclusive, and filled with familiar faces like Greg James and Graham Norton. The timeline, unhurried, grounded, and authentic. Music first, marriage when it feels right, and the tone? Playful, romantic, but firmly bounded. This isn't just another celebrity wedding. It's Taylor Swift's wedding story, public, yes, but still profoundly hers. She's given us just enough to feel the heartbeat of it, all the rough sketches of what's coming. We don't know the date, the dress, or the vows, but we can feel the romance, the precision, the artistry behind every reveal. Because for Taylor, even love is a craft. The story is the art, and she's still writing. Now, let's lean into the fun part, the fan theories. The ones that feel so perfectly Swiftian they might actually be true. Prediction 1. A destination garden wedding. Travis proposed in a secret garden paradise, and her subtle hints about escape make it feel almost certain the ceremony will be outdoors, lush, romantic, maybe even abroad. England, Ireland, Italy. She's hinted at all three. Never confirmed, just danced near the idea, like a lyric waiting for its bridge. Prediction 2. Opalite as the first dance, that's practically written in stone, literally. The title ties to Travis's birthstone, and she's called it his favorite track. Emotional, luminous, full of symbolism, it feels destined to soundtrack their love story. Prediction 3. A surprise performance by Ed Sheeran. Fans are betting big on this one, and it tracks. Taylor has joked before that Ed is the wedding guy, the one everyone asks to perform. Combine that with their long friendship and shared musical DNA, and you can almost see it. Ed stepping on stage, guitar in hand, under soft twinkle lights. Prediction 4. No bubble invitations. Taylor's already said it. She's not doing the anxious, exclusive guest list. Expect something open-hearted and welcoming, a reflection of her current era of connection. She might even invite people like Greg James and Graham Norton as a statement. This won't be a wedding for optics, it'll be a celebration of everyone she genuinely values. Prediction 5. A split ceremony, part public, part private. Taylor has mastered the art of giving access without exposure. Picture a celebration that blends spectacle and secrecy, cinematic photos. Maybe even a filmed glimpse, but with the most intimate vows kept off camera, shared only between her and Travis. And through it all, the life of a showgirl will echo in the background, its lyrics, imagery, and soul serving as a secret companion to the wedding itself. Fans will dissect every line, searching for hidden dates, coded metaphors, those quiet winks to moments she's dropped in interviews. Because that's the beauty of being a Taylor Swift fan, it's never just a song. It's a scavenger hunt of emotion. And yes, maybe inviting radio hosts and talk show icons to a wedding sounds unconventional. But in Taylor's world, they're not just interviewers, they're part of her narrative. Greg James, for instance, has been a recurring voice in her timeline for years. So when she says, "You'll know at a different time," it isn't a brush off, it's a breadcrumb. A cinematic pause designed to linger, because the boundary she draws, that's pure Taylor mastery. She lets us see the outline, never the interior. The ring, the garden, the guest list, yes. But the vows, the tears, the private toasts, those stay behind the curtain, that she's not shutting us out. She's directing the story, making sure the drama unfolds on her terms. If this were a film, we'd say we're in the middle of the revelation arc. The proposal, the ring, the hints, the rumors, the fan theories, all building toward the crescendo. And Taylor, ever the showrunner of her own mythology, isn't rushing a thing. She's letting the anticipation simmer, every reveal timed like a verse before the chorus. So, Swifties, keep your ears open. There will be more radio moments, more accidental mentions, more lyrical clues hidden between the lines. She's already mapped out the path. All we have to do is walk it with her. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. And remember, when she finally says, "You'll know," we really will.